And what if I told you there's something far more powerful than simply disappearing? For years, the world has sold us the same formula. When someone hurts you, cut all contact, block them, delete them, vanish, as if you never existed. We've been convinced that total silence is the only way to take our power back, the only way to heal, the only way to make our absence felt. And while that belief is widespread, it's incomplete. Cutting contact works? Let's not deny it. It can give you space to breathe, to gather your thoughts, to return to yourself. But there's a deeper dimension, a strategy that goes far beyond vanishing, something that not only returns your power, but multiplies it in ways you never thought possible. True transformation doesn't happen in the shadows, in total silence, or in complete absence. The most powerful alchemy takes place when you remain visible, but are completely transformed, when your very presence becomes living proof of your evolution, when every breath you take radiates at such a high frequency that it cannot be ignored. It's the art of being present without being available, of shining without needing to be seen, of existing at such a high level that your mere presence becomes the strongest message you could ever send. This is not revenge. And it's not about proving anything to anyone. It's something deeper, the remembrance of who you truly are. Once you stop defining yourself by the wounds others have given you, what you're about to discover is not just a strategy, but an invitation to awaken a version of yourself you may have forgotten, a version that doesn't have to disappear to have an impact, that doesn't have to stay silent to be heard, that simply exists in its full power and is unforgettable because of it. There's an extraordinary phenomenon the ancient alchemists knew well, the ability to turn lead into gold. They weren't speaking literally about metals, but about something far deeper. The transformation of suffering into wisdom, of pain into strength, of wounds into power. This is true alchemy, and it happens within you the moment you decide that your transformation will be more powerful than your disappearance. When someone hurts you, your first instinct is to react, to yell, to confront, to vanish, or to show your pain in 1,000 ways. But there's a profound difference between reacting from your wound and responding from awareness. Reaction keeps you trapped in pain. Conscious response frees you from it. As the great psychologist Carl Jung said, "What we do not make conscious appears in our lives as fate." When you choose conscious transformation instead of automatic reaction, you take the lead in shaping your own destiny. The process of inner alchemy begins the moment you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this here to teach me?" That simple shift changes your entire energetic frequency. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your own growth. There's something profoundly magnetic about a person who has turned their pain into wisdom. Their presence radiates a peace that can't be faked, a strength that needs no proof, a light that requires no announcement. When someone sees you again after this transformation, they instantly feel that something fundamental has changed. You are no longer the same, and that difference is unmistakable. Transformed energy has a magnetic quality that silence alone can never achieve. If you simply disappear, you leave behind a void that can be filled with forgetting. But when you visibly transform, you fill that space with a presence so powerful that you cannot be overlooked. Your growth becomes living proof of what's possible when someone chooses to rise instead of shrink. And that's why your transformation unsettles others far more than your absence ever could. Absence is predictable. Transformation is revolutionary. They expected to find you broken, weakened, or perhaps bitter. Instead, they find you stronger, clearer, and more authentic than ever before. This version of you doesn't fit the story they had in mind for how things should end. And that mismatch forces them to question everything they thought they knew about you and about themselves. Inner Alchemy is not a process you announce, it's a process you radiate. You don't need to tell anyone you've changed because your new frequency speaks for itself. If you feel the truth of this conscious transformation stirring inside you, if you recognize that you can turn every experience into wisdom, then show it now. Write in the comments, "I choose to grow, not to react." Let that be your declaration of emotional independence. And imagine for a moment that you were like water. Water can be in any vessel, take on any shape, yet it never loses its essence. It doesn't matter whether it's poured into a golden cup or a cracked container. Water keeps its purity, its fluidity, its original nature. This is the perfect metaphor for conscious letting go. Being present in the world without clinging to a specific form it should take. Conscious letting go is neither coldness nor indifference. On the contrary, it's the highest form of self-love. It's the ability to be fully present in your life while maintaining complete emotional freedom regarding how others respond to your presence. You remain open to the world, ready for new encounters and experiences, yet entirely inaccessible to those who failed to appreciate what you gave. This paradox works like an extraordinary mirror. While your heart stays open to those who come with respect and reciprocity, it becomes impenetrable to those who would exploit your energy. This isn't a daily conscious decision. It's a natural, energetic reordering that happens the moment you recognize your own worth. The difference between ignoring and transcending is essential. Ignoring requires constant effort, an active defense that keeps you tied to what you wish to avoid. Transcending, on the other hand, is a state that arises naturally once you've fully processed an experience and absorbed the wisdom it held. There's no more resistance. You've simply grown beyond that frequency. Your new energetic vibration is like a radio station that has changed its signal. Those who once tuned in on your old wavelength now hear only static interference and inexplicable disconnection. Not because you've stopped broadcasting, but because you're now transmitting on a higher frequency, one that requires a different tuning to receive. This presence without attachment becomes a quantum mirror for those around you. It reflects not only who you are now, but also who you could have been by their side if they had known how to nourish your light instead of dim it. Your visible growth confronts them with the potential they missed, with the version of the relationship they never created. And yet here is the beauty of this process. You don't do it for them. You're not trying to teach them a lesson or make them feel what they've lost. You are simply authentic with yourself, honoring your growth and safeguarding the energetic integrity you worked so hard to reclaim. This presence without attachment is magnetic in a way drama could never be. It draws in those who resonate with your new frequency and gently repels those not yet ready to meet you at this level of awareness. In the oldest spiritual traditions, emptiness is not seen as absence, but as infinite space, brimming with possibility. It is the cosmic womb where stars are born, the sacred stillness between two notes that gives the melody its meaning. When you withdraw your emotional energy from someone who did not value it, you are not creating a destructive void. You are creating a sacred emptiness, a space that can now be filled with something far more precious, your own essence. For a long time, your heart was like a house with open doors. Anyone could enter, take what they wanted, and leave whenever they pleased. Your love flowed without boundaries. Your attention was scattered without discernment. Your life force given away without distinction. But there comes a moment of awakening when you realize that not everyone deserves free access to your inner sanctuary. Reclaiming your energy requires no dramatic announcements, no grand explanations. It's a quiet, deep process, like a river changing its natural course. It doesn't do it violently, it simply finds a new path that better honors its flow. And so too does your energy find new channels, ones that nourish your growth instead of depleting it. There's a fundamental difference between a closed heart and a discerning heart. A closed heart acts out of fear and rejects every connection. A discerning heart opens out of wisdom and chooses intentionally where to invest its love. Your heart hasn't become less loving. It has become wiser. It has learned to distinguish between those who come to enrich and those who come to take. The process of reclaiming your scattered energy is like gathering fragments of your soul you left in places where they were not valued. Every obsessive thought you release, every hope you pull back, every emotion you no longer invest in seeking their validation, all of it returns to you multiplied. The energy that once drained away into the vacuum of their indifference now comes home to you, where it can flourish without restraint. What unsettles the most is not your physical absence, but the absence of your emotional devotion. In the past, they could take you for granted because your energy still followed them even in silence, because your thoughts revolved around them even when they weren't present. But now that mental and emotional space they once occupied without permission has been reclaimed and dedicated to your own growth. This sacred emptiness you've created doesn't remain empty for long. Nature abhors a vacuum, and your spiritual nature is no exception. This space gradually fills with your own light, with projects that inspire you, with relationships that nourish you, with dreams you had postponed just to keep alive a connection that had long since died. And now, when they sense this absence of devotion, this space they once so easily inhabited, they are faced with an uncomfortable truth. They are no longer an emotional priority in your life, and the space they left behind is no longer waiting for them. Nature shows us one of the most powerful processes in the universe through the butterfly. For days it remains in its cocoon, unseen by the outside world, undergoing such a radical transformation that it literally dissolves to be born anew. No one can see what happens in that sacred darkness, yet when the butterfly emerges, there is no trace of the caterpillar it once was. Its flight is not revenge on those who underestimated it, but the natural expression of what it always carried in potential. Your silent metamorphosis follows the same divine principle. While they expected to find you weakened by the experience, you have quietly created an entirely new version of yourself. Not one that meets pain with more pain, but one that turns every wound into a doorway to higher awareness. The deepest impact of your growth lies in its unexpectedness. They had a fixed image of who you were, where your limits lay, and how far you could go. They had catalogued you in their mind, put you in a box as predictable, controllable, perhaps even limited. But life has an extraordinary way of challenging our most deeply held assumptions. When they see you blossom in directions they never imagined for you, when your life takes paths they never believed you'd have the courage to walk, something fundamental in their understanding of reality shatters. They don't just question who you are today, they begin to wonder if you were ever truly the person they thought you were. Your growth doesn't expose your limitations. It exposes theirs, their inability to recognize greatness even when it stood right in front of them. The power of personal reinvention lies in its authenticity. You don't become someone entirely new. You reveal parts of yourself that had been dormant. Every new project you start, every goal you reach, every genuine smile you offer the world is a facet of your inner diamond, now free to shine without obstruction. What confuses them most is that your blooming happened without their involvement. In fact, it happened precisely because of their absence. This realization confronts them with an undeniable truth. You were never dependent on their presence to thrive. Instead, their absence created the space your true nature needed to unfold. Freely, your new self is living proof of your untapped potential, a quiet yet undeniable testament that you've always had the ability to fly. You simply needed the right sky to spread your wings. Your metamorphosis isn't about impressing anyone. It's simply the pure expression of what you were always capable of becoming. Every power dynamic survives through the participation of both sides. Like a play, it requires both the actor and the audience for the performance to stay alive. For a long time, you were the perfect audience for their drama. You reacted at just the right moments, gave them the emotional feedback they needed to feel powerful, significant, and in control, able to shift your mood with a single word or gesture. But something extraordinary happens when you rise from your seat and walk toward the door. The drama continues for a moment, expecting your usual reaction, but the silence of the audience slowly exposes the artificiality of the entire act. Without your emotional involvement, their tactics reveal themselves for what they always were: empty manipulations that only worked because they found in you a heart willing to respond. The moment their strategies stop working is the beginning of the collapse of their imagined kingdom. The small psychological games that once triggered storms, inside you now meet an unshakable calm. The words that once cut deep now bounce off the armor of your new awareness. The silences that used to fill you with dread are now met with a serenity that completely disarms them. Your emotional stability becomes their greatest nightmare because it exposes their dependency on chaos. They needed the drama, the uncertainty, the emotional roller coaster to feel alive, to prove to themselves they could influence your life. Your new calm not only denies them that emotional drug, it also forces them to confront the emptiness within when no one takes the bait of their provocations. Losing the ability to control your emotions confronts them with a truth they've long avoided: their own inner instability. As long as they could throw you off balance, they felt superior, in control, able to steer the situation. But when your inner peace becomes unshakable, when your responses come not from the wound but from awareness, the imbalance becomes visible and it's no longer on their side. You've made the deepest role reversal possible, from reactive to creative. You no longer automatically respond to external triggers. You create your own reality from a stable inner center. You are the source of your own peace, the builder of your own stability, the architect of your own joy. When you stop being the audience, in their personal theater, something in them breaks. They don't just lose the power to influence you, they lose the constant validation that they still matter in your life. Your authentic indifference is not cruelty, it is freedom. It's the silent declaration that you have fully reclaimed sovereignty over your inner kingdom, and in this kingdom they no longer hold a visa. At the heart of every human being is an indestructible flame, a light no external storm can ever fully extinguish. It can be dimmed by pain, covered by wounds, shadowed by disappointment, but never destroyed. This inner light is your purest essence, the divine spark that connects you to everything you can be and create in this life. When you choose to shine from that authentic light, you choose the most powerful response there is. You don't need to plot revenge, because your radiance becomes the answer that makes any need for retaliation irrelevant. It's not a light meant to blind others, but one that simply reflects the truth of your restored nature. The difference between shining to impress and shining from your essence is the difference between a performance and a revelation. When you shine to impress, your light depends on an audience, seeks outside validation, feeds on the reactions of others. But when you shine from your essence, your light is independent, self-sustaining, an organic expression of who you truly are. When you allow yourself to be fully authentic, your true success speaks a language that needs no words. You don't have to announce your happiness. It's seen in the way you walk. You don't have to declare your peace. It's felt in your presence. You don't have to explain your growth. It's evident in every choice you make from your new awareness. This alignment between your inner being and your outer expression creates a magnetic force that can't be faked or imitated. Your radiance becomes the most elegant and definitive closure there is. While words can be misunderstood and gestures misinterpreted, the light of a well-lived life is a clear message. It is the silent yet powerful declaration that you have chosen growth over shrinking, evolution over regression, illumination over darkness. The extraordinary thing about this light is that the more authentically you shine, the more aware you become of your own brilliance. You no longer try to prove anything to anyone because your worth is no longer defined by outside applause. You simply live from your deepest truth, and that truth inevitably radiates into the world. Your light becomes the living legacy of what you were always capable of achieving. Every goal reached, every dream realized, every moment of true inner calm is proof that the potential they couldn't see was always there, just waiting for the right conditions to reveal itself. This light you now emit effortlessly is your final answer to everything they once tried to make you believe about your limits. It's not an answer directed at them, but at life itself, a declaration that no external experience has the power to extinguish the light within you. We've walked together through the deepest transformation there is, the one that leads you from reaction to the conscious creation of your own reality. You've realized that your power doesn't lie in disappearing like a ghost in the night, but in appearing as the most authentic and elevated version of yourself the world has ever seen. The inner alchemy you've experienced is not a psychological trick or a manipulation tactic. It's the natural awakening of your consciousness to its true potential. Your presence without attachment is not coldness, it's emotional mastery. The sacred vacuum you've created is not abandonment, it's discernment. Your silent metamorphosis is not a pose, it's real evolution. Their loss of control over you is not revenge, it's liberation. And your light that will not fade is not a display, it's the expression of your restored divine nature. None of this was ever truly about them. It was about remembering who you are when no one else defines your worth. It was about rediscovering that inner strength untouched by outside circumstances. It was about choosing the expansion of your awareness over the narrowing of your heart. Now you have a choice you make every day. You can keep choosing growth over reaction, evolution over resentment, light over shadow. And this isn't a one-time decision, but a daily commitment to stay at the highest frequency of your being. Your new reality needs no explanation and no justification. It exists simply as living proof that it is possible to turn every experience into wisdom, every wound into strength, every ending into a more powerful new beginning. Remember, you didn't come into this world to shrink or to let your light be dimmed by the actions of others. You came to shine, to grow, to evolve. You came to show that true self-love is the most transformative force there is. And now you finally remember